श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांशहस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विधूततिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतं स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वमपीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। Let us do the Mangalacharana of this text. सत्प्रत्ययाः किन्नु विहाय सन्तं हृद्येष चिन्तारहितो हृदाख्यः कथं स्मरामस्तममेयमेकं तस्य स्मृतिस्तत्र दृढैव निष्ठा। मृत्युञ्जयं मृत्युभयाश्रितानाम् अहं मतिर्मृत्युमुपैति पूर्वम् अथ स्वभावादमृतेषु तेषु कथं पुनर्मृत्युधियोऽवकाशः। Let us chant verses 32 to 35, 31 to 35. मौनेन मज्जन्मनसा स्वमूल चर्चैव सत्यात्मविचारणं स्यात् एषोऽहमेतन्न मम स्वरूपम् इति प्रमा सत्यविचारणाङ्गम् गवेषणात् प्राप्य हृदन्तरं तत् पतेदहन्ता परिभुग्नशीर्षा अथाहमन्यत् स्फुरति प्रकृष्टम् नाहङ्कृतिस्तत्परमेव पूर्णम् अहङ्कृतिं यो लसति ग्रसित्वा किं तस्य कार्यं परिशिष्टमस्ति किञ्चिद्विजानाति सनात्मनोऽन्यत् तस्य स्थितिं भावयितुं क्षमः कः। आह स्फुटं तत्त्वमसीति वेद तथाप्यसम्प्राप्य परात्मनिष्ठां भूयो विचारो मतिदुर्बलत्वं तत्सर्वदा स्वात्मतया हि भाति। न वेद्म्यहं मामुत वेद्म्यहं माम् इति प्रवादो मनुजस्य हास्यः दृग्दृश्यभेदात् किमयं द्विधात्मा स्वात्मैकतायां हि धियान्न भेदः। Whether I know myself or I don't know myself, these doubts are laughable, these are foolish, because my own swarupa is not an object of knowledge. In self, there is no such division, triputi, knower, known, differences. Having explained this, Raman Maharshi ji is talking about how if We know that self intellectually. If we have understood what it intellectually, and if we have understood intellectually what the self is, what should we do? What is the next course of action? Raman Maharshi is explaining. Let us see verse 36. हृत्प्राप्य सद्धाम निजस्वरूपे स्वभावसिद्धेनुपलभ्य निष्ठाम् मायाविलासः सदसत्स्वरूपम् विरूपनानैकमुखप्रवादाः. स्वभावसिद्धे, स्वभावसिद्धे, स्वभावसिद्ध, स्वतःसिद्ध, which is self-evident. Nijaswarupa, Nijaswarupe, in one's own true nature, abiding in one's own self. Saddhama, Saddhama, the truth, abode of truth. Hritparapya, reaching, reaching in one's own heart, reaching in the heart. Nishtham, Nishtham, abidance. Anupalabhya, Anupalabhya, not having gained. Nishtham Anupalabhya, not having gained the abidance. Sat Asat Sarupa Virupa Nana Eka Mukha Pravadaha. Pravadaha, Mukha Pravadaha, the talks or the expression speaking that Sat Asat, real or unreal, Sarupa Virupa, with form, without form, etc. Many or one, Nana Eka. Maya Vilasaha are all play of Maya. Raman Maharshi is explaining in this verse, not having gained the abidance in one's own true nature, in the self-evident, in the self-evident abode of truth, that is Chaitanya, by reaching one's heart, loud texts such as whether the self is real or unreal, whether it is with form or without form, whether it is one or many, is all play of Maya. Now, Raman Maharshi is addressing a very important point here, and what he is addressing in conclusion or in short is, you may know verbally, intellectually, what Brahman is, but if you are not abiding in that truth, whatever that you know is nothing but play of Maya. You are still Ajnani, ignorant, you don't know Brahman. What is the difference? What exactly is the problem? Let us see. A person who is desirous of knowledge of Brahman. Why does he desire to know Brahman? Because he is seeking happiness without any sorrow. He is seeking unsurpassed happiness. And a student, or let us call him a student, or any person, the seeker, mumukshu, he is desirous of moksha now because he has heard that the one who knows Brahman crosses over, surpasses all sorrows. And because this person, seeker, wants to cross over, go beyond all sorrows, he decides to gain Brahmajnana, and for that he approaches a guru. Now, when he approaches a guru, Guru teaches him Brahma Vidya, what Brahman is. Now, when that Brahma Vidya is given, when that Brahmajnana, Upanishads, Vedanta has been taught, this person listens attentively, very carefully, and then he goes through all the texts thoroughly and says, now I have understood, now I know what Brahman is. When he is asked, okay, you know Brahman is so great, it is very nice. What is it? Can you please explain? And then he goes on elaborating, explaining what Brahman is. He talks about the reality of Brahman, unreal nature of Jagat, etc. Everything. He goes on explaining what is Panchakosha, five sheets, what is gross body, subtle body, causal body. But throughout all these explanations, if he introspects, if he asks himself whether has he really experienced his own true nature, is he abiding his own self, there is no answer, because he is not. Whatever that he has learned intellectually. He knows only the words and their general meaning. He has not directly experienced what Brahman is. Now, be careful when it is said directly experienced, don't confuse it with any other experience or any worldly experience or like experiencing an object. I experienced movie. I saw a movie, not like that. I experienced a fight on the street, a quarrel on the street, not like that. This is an experience without triputi as explained as it was told in the earlier verse. So the person who is not abiding in his own swarupa, in other words, the one who still experiences the world as world and not Brahman, the one who still experiences happiness and sorrows and not Brahman, the one who still thinks the world is real and acts like that. Let me rephrase, let me reiterate. The one who thinks that the world is real and acts like that. Why such a statement? Because people may verbally, orally say that the world is not real, but their actions say otherwise. Their actions say otherwise. Such a person is not abiding in one's own swarupa. While we are on this topic, let us differentiate where the difference is. When happiness and sorrow is experienced by a layman, an ignorant person, he will experience them as happiness and sorrows. In reality, neither there is happiness nor sorrow, there is just an experience to which, when conducive and non conducive idea is attached, then when the experience is conducive, I experience happiness. When the experience is not conducive, I experience sorrow. That is the main reality. That is the part. Now, for a Jivan Mukta Mahatma, when he experiences anything, he just experiences them as they are. Neither does he attach any idea of happiness or sorrow as conduciveness or non-conduciveness. He experiences them as equal. Sukha dukkhe same krutva, Bhagavad Gita also says. That is the vision of Jnani, the one who is abiding in his own Swarupa. He never gives reality to all the experiences. He knows they are mithya, so he is not affected by it. The person, even though that person knows verbally, intellectually that the world is unreal, the world is not real, Brahman is the reality, the truth, still he will act foolish, will get affected by happiness and sorrow. That's why in Chandogyopanishad, Sanat Kumaraji says to Narad Maharshi, sage Sanat Kumara tells Narad Maharshi that whatever that you have learned, you have known only the word meaning, the words. You have not really experienced what they are trying to tell you. Mantravidevasi, natu Brahmavid. You know only words, you have not experienced it. You are not abiding in that Swarupa. That's what the point here has been raised by Raman Maharshi. He's saying that you know the person who knows, but if he is not abiding, whatever that he knows is also part of Maya, because all that knowledge is still an expression of ignorance. Now, this is difficult to understand, but yes, it is. It is intellectual knowledge, and whatever the intellectual knowledge is the vikara, modification of intellect, and because it is a modification of intellect, it is the product of Maya. That's why in Viveka Chudamani, Acharya Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji cautions us that this knowledge, Vag Vaikhari Shabdadhari Vakshastra Vyakhyan Kaushalam Vaidusham Virusham Tadvad Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye, he says that this knowledge, if used for gaining material wealth and not for gaining moksha, it is futile, it is useless. This knowledge, अविज्ञाते परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला विज्ञातेऽपि परे तत्वे शास्त्राधीतिस्तु निष्फला. The contrasting meaning, we will not go into the details of it, but there what Bhashyakara is explaining is, you have studied Brahma Jnana, you have studied Brahma Vidya, you have studied Upanishads, but then even after that, if you have not directly experienced Brahman, if you are not abiding in that Brahman, what's the use of it? What's the use of that study? And once you have gained that Brahmajnana, do you further need to study it again? No. What is the use of that study? In other words, even after having learned, the one who has not understood or not directly experienced Brahman, the one who is not abiding in Brahman, his knowledge, whatever that he explains, is nothing but the product of Maya, the play of Maya. Till one gains abidance in his own true self, till then, all expressions, all definitions, all explanations for what Brahman is, they are nothing but play of Maya. Yet, this is an important part because even intellectually knowing helps us halfway. We are not that much affected by happiness and sorrows of life. Then what should we do? Start acting upon whatever that we have learned. Try to remove all the obstructions in gaining Brahmajnana. Repeat to yourself, do Nididhyasana, do Shravana, Manana again and again. Tatchintanam tatkathanam anyonyam tatprabodhanam etadektaparatvam cha jnanabhyasam vidurbudhaha. This is jnanabhyasa. Talk about it again and again. Don't get entangled in the world. Don't use this knowledge for fame in the world. Now, having explained this, Raman Maharshi ji touches upon a very important misunderstood topic. The question here, or the question behind this verse is, or what Raman Maharshi ji is trying to address is, whether a realized master, the person who has gained Brahmajnana, the one who is Jivan Mukta, does he have any siddhi, any yogic powers, something that is fascinating? Can he move mountains with his mind? Can he do do some crazy things, can he make all my problems go away? Yes, he can make your problems go away by giving you Brahmajnana, but not problems in the world, like worldly problems from worldly standpoint. That's what is the question here. Let us see the verse. सिद्धस्य वित्तिः सत एव सिद्धिः स्वप्नोपमानाः खलु सिद्धयोन्याः स्वप्नः प्रबुद्धस्य कथं नु सत्यः सति स्थितः किं न पुनरेति मायाम्. सिद्धस्य सतः वित्तिः सतः वित्ति knowledge of the truth. Siddhasya, the one who is Siddha, the one who is abiding in the truth. Jivan Mukta. Eva, itself, by itself, alone. Siddhi is Siddhi. If you want to translate translate it in English, yogic powers or accomplishments, etc. Because Siddhi is accomplishment, something that has been accomplished. That one. Anyaha Siddhayaha, other accomplishments. Khalu, indeed, Swapnopamanaha, Swapnopamanaha, like comparable to dream, similar to dream. Prabuddhasya, the one who has woken up, the one who has woken up. Katham nu satyaha, how can they be true? Sati sthitihi, sati, sat, seventh case. Word sat, seventh case. Sati, in the truth. Sati, sthitihi, abidance. Punaha mayameti kim, does it come back? Does it come back to Maya? Does it come back to... Does one enter Maya again? No, he does not. What Raman Maharshi is saying is, सिद्धस्य वित्तिः सत एव सिद्धिः स्वप्नोपमाना खलु सिद्धयोन्या स्वप्नः प्रबुद्धस्य कथं नु सत्यस्थितिः सति स्थितः किं पुनरेति मायाम्. The one who has gained Brahmajnana, the one who is already abiding in the truth, that abidance itself is the accomplishment, the siddhi for that Jivan Mukta Mahatma, for that Brahmajnani Mahatma. All other accomplishments, all other siddhi, worldly siddhi or the yogic powers that we talk about are nothing but play of Maya for him. They are just like dream for him. Does anyone think that dream is real? No. In the same way, he does not entertain those powers. The one who is already abiding in the truth, the reality, the Brahman, will he enter Maya again? Will he get again affected by ignorance? No. He may experience the product of ignorance as like others because of prarabdha, etc. But he will not get affected by it. He will not enter Maya again. He will not be part of Maya again. Let us first understand one important point. It is usually confused, not really known, misunderstood, whatever you want to say. But special powers, that yogic powers, siddhi, ashtasiddhi, we have 8 different major powers like becoming big, like as big as earth or as small as an atom, thinking of something and making it appear in front of you, etc. There are multiple things. All these special powers, all these things are the indicators of person's Brahmajnana, whether he is Jivan Mukta or not. That's what people think or believe. But that is not the case, that's not the truth. Understand, Brahmajnana and Siddhi are the result of two different things. Brahmajnana, Jivan Mukti, abidance in Brahman is the result of Jnana, is the result of Jnana. Jnana is acquired by Pramana Vyapara using appropriate means for gaining that knowledge. But Siddhi is the product of, you can call it karma, karma in terms of doing dhyana, dharana, etc. Or it is product of the result of your upasana. It is the product of your punya. It has nothing to do with Brahmajnana, gaining Brahmajnana, becoming Jivan Mukta. That's what it is. Therefore, it is not a really good thing to compare Siddhi and Jivan Mukti. There have been great rishis, great people who were Jivan Mukta and who had Siddhis because of their past sadhana, karma, etc. But gaining Siddhi or having Siddhi is not the criteria or indicator of Jivan Mukti. There can be person who is Siddha, the one who has Siddhi, but he is still ignorant as he was. The thing is, the one who has gained Brahmajnana, what is the Siddhi? What is the greatest accomplishment? Gaining Brahmajnana itself is the greatest Siddhi. There cannot be any other Siddhi other than gaining Brahmajnana. And therefore, the person who is abiding in his own true self, in his own true nature, for him, that abidance itself is the greatest achievement, Siddhi for him. All these Siddhis in reality are diversions. They are like dream. And as we do not give reality importance to dream, we give that up, we do not entertain it. In the same way, this also should be given up. In Yoga Sutra, जन्म औषधि मंत्र तप समाधिजः सिद्धयः sutra comes. Siddhis, loosely translated in English as yogic powers because there is no comparable word in English. Siddhi, accomplishments, let us stick to word yogic accomplishments, are inherent, inherent as in from birth, due to yogic powers are inherent from janma or aushadhi, some specific herb, special medicines. Mantra, from power of mantra, by chanting a mantra repeatedly with specific rules, specific conditions, following certain uh, criteria, etc. Tapa, austerity, penance. Samadhijaha, or by samadhi, gaining or nirvikalpa samadhi. These powers are not easy to gain. They come after a very long sadhana. Not easy. Those siddhis may or are extraordinary. They are something special, but one should not try to entertain them, try to get affected by them, because those are bigger obstacles in sadhana. Why? Because they are like dream, they are the product of Maya, they are part of Maya, and if one gets attached to those siddhis, he will get stuck in Maya and never get liberated. He will be affected by that. He will get attached to those things and he will have to pay the price for entertaining those siddhis in his next birth in form of the result of karmas that he performed with or through the siddhis accomplishments. All Jivan Mukta Mahatma who had those siddhis, they never used them on their own will. Jivan Mukta Mahatma we are talking about, not some layman or common person. There are examples where those Mahatmas have helped their students, their devotees, but in that, Ishvara's will, Ishvarecha, the desire of Ishvara was functioning because he desired that this karya, function, this thing should happen through him. It worked. Siddhis, they helped themselves because they, anyways, this is just the expression. Let us not go into that detail because what Raman Maharshi is trying to focus on, point out is don't get confused, affected, entertained, and fascinated by these siddhis because in the end they are product of Maya. And the person who has gained Brahmajnana, the one who has become Jivan Mukta, will he entertain Maya again? No. Therefore, person who is abiding in Brahman will not entertain Siddhi. And you should not too. We also should not entertain gaining the thought of gaining Siddhi. Of course, Brahmajnana should be gained. There is a very beautiful story in Ramakrishna Maharshi's Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, in the life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So once he was walking on the river bank and a person came to him. He said, you know, I have been doing tapas, austerity, for almost 20 to 30 years. Somewhere it is at 18 years, it doesn't matter. 18 years of my life in Himalaya for gaining Siddhi. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, oh really? Wow. What did you do? What is the Siddhi that you gained? The person answered that I can walk on water now. Then Ramakrishna smiled and said, so you uh, let us use the current denomination because I don't know what the denomination was when he was around. But anyways, like, what was the price of crossing over the river? Anyways, the point here is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said to that person, so you wasted the 18 years of your life for something that could be done just in 10 rupees, just for 20 rupees. You have wasted that much time for something which was so cheap. You could have just hired a boatman, you could have just taken boat to go across water. What is the point? The life is scarce. Scarce as in this human birth is not easily available. So you have wasted your life in pursuit of Siddhi rather than pursuit of Brahmajnana. Okay. Now comes the next question. For how long do I need to inquire to gain Brahmajnana, to abide in one's own true self, in my own Swarupa? Raman Maharshi says, सोऽहं विचारो वपुरात्मभावे साहाय्यकारी परमार्गणस्य स्वात्मैक्यसिद्धौ न पुनर्निरर्थो यथा नरत्वप्रमितिर्नरस्य वपुरात्मभावे वपुः आत्मा भाव वपुः आत्मा इति भावे in the state of ignorance where this body is taken to be I. in the state where I am identifying with my body. Saha aham vicharaha. Vicharaha, thinking. Saha aham, I am he is me. Paramarganasya, para, supreme, margana, inquiry. The search. Sahayakari, Sahayakari, helpful. Yatha narasya, just as to a man, of a man, naratva pramitihi, the knowledge of his humanness, manness, is not useful, is of no use. In the same way, Swatmaikya Siddhau, in the accomplishment of oneness between Jiva and Brahma, Punaha Nirarthaha, again is without any purpose. So, when we are identified with this body, in that phase, when we are identified with this body, saying that I am that Brahman, thinking, inquiring, trying to know that Brahman, is okay, is useful, is helpful in the search of that Brahman. But after that Brahman has been gained, the inquiry serves no purpose, is futile, just like a man trying to know that he is man is futile. The answer here is simple. What Raman Maharshi is saying is, try to know Brahman as long as, or inquire into the nature of Brahman, what Brahman is, as long as you think that you are this body. But while doing so, try to give up the idea that I am this body. Understand one thing. Don't be a mumukshu seeker forever. The question is simple. How long should I pursue Brahmajnana? So long as you think this world is real and I am this body. As long as I think that I am this body and the world is real, I will have to pursue Brahmajnana, I will have to try, I will have to inquire into the nature of Brahman, the nature of Jagat, this I, and try to gain aparoksha jnana of that Brahman. We have seen one verse in reference. The verse is Asti chen nasa tattvavit. The one uh, who thinks that for him there is something to be done, he is not Brahmajnani. That's what is the reference point here. As long as I think I have some desires, worldly desires, something to be gained, then I am identified with this body. I am feeling apurna. I don't feel myself as Purna. I don't know that I am Brahman, and therefore what I should do is go on inquiring into the nature of Brahman. After that is gone, after the identification goes away and I realize that I am not this body, I am this Brahman, okay, continue. What is the purpose of inquiry then? Know that you are Brahman, that's it. That's all there is to know. Now, Raman Maharshi ji is uh, pointing out, if reality of nature What is the reality? What is the truth? Whether it is Dvaita, whether it is Advaita or both. He's asking, he's saying, Dvaitam which द्वैतं विचारे परमार्थबोधे तु अद्वैतमित्येष न साधुवादः गवेषणात् प्राग् दशमे विनष्टे पश्चाच्च लब्धे दशमत्वमेकम्. Raman Maharshi is saying, Vichare Dvaitam. Vichare, during inquiry, Dvaitam, there is duality. Paramartha Bodhetu, but when Brahmajnana is gained, Advaitam, there is non-duality. Iti eshaha na sadhuvadaha, saying thus is not appropriate thing, good thing, is not right. Now, even though we say for the sake of explanation, that is not the right way of saying. Gaveshanat prag dashame vinashte cha. Gaveshanat prag, before the search. Dashame vinashte, when the 10th man has been lost. Paschatcha labdhe cha, and paschat labdhe, when he is gained, when he is found again. Dashamattvamekam, the 10th man, the oneness, the 10th man was always there. To say that there is duality during inquiry and there is non-duality after gaining Brahmajnana is not right, is not appropriate, because the 10th man, the 10th ness, Dashamatvam, the 10th ness of 10th man was not there when he was lost and is there when he is found. Saying thus, what is this? Let us understand the example and then we will know what the answer Raman Maharshi is giving. So what happened was, there were 10 students who were as bright as they can be. Now, as bright as they can be is, anyways, let us continue. When you know the story, you will know how bright they were. What happened was, they decided to go to neighboring village to attend a fair. Then Guruji said, okay, if you are going to that neighboring village, be careful. All of you are 10 in number. You have to do one thing, you have to be careful, because when you are going to that next village, the village which is next to our village, there is a river. You have to cross that river, you have to be careful. Be careful, count yourself before you, when you cross over the river, make sure that all of you have crossed and nobody has drowned. 10 of you are going. Count after you have crossed the river. If all of you are there, then proceed. Otherwise, look for that person. Search for that person. All of those 10 students agreed. They decided to go further. They started walking towards that village. They came near that river. The river was flowing in full swing. The water had flow, it had force. So everybody held each other's hand. They tied ropes around their waist and they crossed over. Everybody loosened the ties around their waist, left hands that they were holding with each other, and then the eldest of them started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no! We have lost the 10th man. Oh no, we have lost the 10th man. He did not count himself. Therefore, what did he count? He counted only 9. The next one, he said, you are a fool, you don't know how to count. Let me count. So he again started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9. But he did not count 10, he also did not count himself. All of them committed the same mistake, and everybody started crying out loud. Everybody started screaming, "The 10th man has been lost, the 10th man has been lost, the 10th man has been lost." And when they all were start crying and they were saying, "Now how can we go back? How can we go back to our ashrama? How can we face Guruji?" etc. The other person walking by, he heard their cries that 10th man has been lost, and when he looked at them, he saw all the 10 students there. So he approached them and asked, "What is the problem? What has happened?" So they told the whole story, how they started their journey, how they wanted to go to fair, etc. Everything. Then the person said, "Okay, if I help you, will you be happy?" They said, "Okay." Then he made one of those students stand up and said, "Now start counting." He said, "We have already counted." The wise man said, "Please do count. Please do count." So the person said, "Okay." He started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As he approached 9, this wise person, he held his hand, pointed that hand towards the person who was counting and said, "10. Have you found him?" And everybody started cheering, "Yes, we found him." Anyways, in conclusion, the story is the person was not counting himself. He was not counting himself as the 10th man. Out of ignorance, out of foolishness, whatever the reason may be. The point here is, was he not always the 10th man? Just because he did not count himself as 10th, does that mean he was not 10th? He was always the 10th. The idea that 10th man has been lost and the 10th man has been found are all out of ignorance. They are not true. He was always the 10th man. Gaveshanat Prak, before the search, when they thought that he has been lost, and Labdhe Paschat, after he was gained, after gaining knowledge, after counting, rightfully counting in the right way. Paschachalabdhe Dashamattvamekam, he was always the 10th man. In the same way, Brahman is always non-dual, whether you are inquiring into the nature of it or you have gained Brahmajnana and you have directly experienced Brahman. Brahman is always non-dual. Saying it that there is duality in the world and there is now unity, there is no duality in the world. After gaining Brahmajnana is foolish. There is always non-dual Brahman. On account of ignorance, I say now I am experiencing duality. Now for me the duality has been lost or ended. There are small factors here, and also the idea, there is one point where no, it's not like that. Brahman is always non-dual, but because there is creation, during creation it has taken the form of duality and later it is not. That argument is there, but that we will see next time in the class. Om asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om